We assume we're living at the peak, that humanity has never been smarter, more capable, more advanced than right now. But what if that's wrong? Across the planet, buried in deserts and submerged beneath oceans, carved into mountains and hidden in plain sight, are objects that shouldn't exist. Technologies created millennia before they were supposedly invented. Knowledge recorded by people who had no way of knowing it. Languages so complex we still can't decode them. These aren't myths. They're physical evidence sitting in museums and research facilities right now. And each one suggests the same unsettling possibility. We might not be the first advanced civilization. We might just be the latest. Today, we're examining 5 discoveries that force us to question everything we think we know about human history. And I promise, each one will leave you wondering what else we've forgotten.
Discovery number 1. The stones that show impossible knowledge. Deep in Peru's isolated mountain valleys, scattered across rocky terrain few people ever visit, lie thousands of carved stones known as the Ica collection. Most are the size of your palm. Some are massive boulders weighing hundreds of pounds. And what's etched into them is impossible. Detailed depictions of dinosaurs, creatures that went extinct 65 million years before humans existed. Flying reptiles, creatures that shouldn't appear together because they lived in different geological eras separated by millions of years. But it gets stranger. Some stones show surgical procedures, precise incisions, organ transplants, medical instruments that look disturbingly similar to modern scalpels and clamps. Others map the heavens with astronomical accuracy, star positions, celestial alignments, constellations charted with precision that rivals contemporary astronomy. The level of detail is extraordinary. These aren't crude scratches. They're intricate engravings requiring steady hands, sharp tools, and deep knowledge. Skeptics immediately point out the obvious problem. Many of these stones are modern fakes. That's proven. A local farmer admitted to carving some for tourists in the 1960s. But here's what keeps researchers up at night. Not all of them are fake. Some have been verified as genuinely ancient through mineral deposits, oxidation patterns, and material analysis. And those authenticated stones show the same impossible knowledge. Dinosaurs that shouldn't be known, medical procedures that shouldn't be understood, astronomical observations that shouldn't be possible. So how did ancient Peruvian people, living thousands of years ago without written language, without advanced tools, without scientific instruments, create accurate depictions of creatures they'd never seen and procedures they couldn't perform? 3 possibilities exist. 1, they're all elaborate fakes and even scientific dating has been fooled. 2, these people somehow observed dinosaurs directly, which rewrites everything we know about human origins and extinction timelines. 3, they inherited knowledge from an older, more advanced civilization that existed before recorded history and has since been completely lost. None of these options fit our accepted timeline, which is precisely why mainstream archaeology largely ignores these stones. They're too inconvenient, too challenging, too disruptive to the narrative we've built. But ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. They're still there, scattered across Peru's mountains, waiting for an explanation that makes sense. If you're intrigued by mysteries like this, hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next involves objects the Romans made that we still can't explain.
Discovery number 2. The geometric objects with no purpose. Imagine finding an object that's clearly been manufactured with precision and purpose. It fits perfectly in your hand. The weight feels deliberate. The design is complex yet uniform. Hundreds of identical copies exist across thousands of miles. And nobody, not archaeologists, not historians, not engineers, can tell you what it does. These are Roman dodecahedrons, 12-sided bronze objects found throughout Europe, from France to Germany to the Czech Republic. Each one has circular holes on every face.
Many feature small knobs or decorative patterns. They've been discovered in Roman ruins, buried in fields, hidden in forgotten places. Over 400 have been found, and despite decades of research, we have absolutely no idea what they were for. Here's what makes them so puzzling. No Roman text mentions them, not one. No instruction manual, no casual reference in letters or official documents. It's as if an entire civilization used these objects for something important enough to manufacture hundreds of them, but never wrote down why. Theories abound. Maybe they were measuring instruments for calculating distances or angles, perhaps candle holders for religious ceremonies, possibly astronomical calculators for tracking celestial movements. Some suggest they were tools used by surveyors or architects. But none of these theories explain everything. The holes are different sizes. Why? The knobs seem decorative but might be functional. How? The weight distribution is precise. For what purpose? What's most remarkable is their uniformity. Objects found hundreds of miles apart are nearly identical in dimensions, proportions, and design. This wasn't random craftsmanship. Someone, or some group, designed these with specific geometric principles and then reproduced them across the Roman Empire. The level of mathematical and geometric knowledge required to create these is sophisticated. Perfect circles drilled into bronze, precise angles, symmetrical designs that required understanding of three-dimensional geometry. This wasn't primitive metalwork. This was advanced manufacturing. So why don't we know their purpose? One possibility, they were tools of a specialized craft or secret society. Knowledge passed down orally, never written, eventually lost when that group disappeared. Another possibility, they served a function so obvious to Romans that writing it down seemed unnecessary, like trying to explain a doorknob to someone from your own time. Why would you? But if that's true, why can't modern people figure it out? We've reverse engineered ancient technologies, decoded dead languages, understood civilizations from fragmentary evidence. Yet these objects, complete, well-preserved, and abundant, remain total mysteries. Picture yourself in a Roman villa 1800 years ago. You pick up one of these dodecahedrons. You know exactly what to do with it. It's as familiar to you as a smartphone is to us. You use it for something important, something valuable enough that these objects were crafted with precious bronze and distributed empire-wide. Then Rome falls, the knowledge holders die, the craft dies, and within a few generations, nobody remembers what these were for. That's how easily knowledge disappears. That's how quickly the obvious becomes mysterious. The dodecahedrons sit in museums now, silent witnesses to forgotten purposes. We can admire their craftsmanship, study their geometry, measure their dimensions, but we can't answer the simplest question: what were they for? Subscribe now if you want to see more mysteries like this, because our next discovery involves underwater ruins that might rewrite everything we know about ancient civilizations. Discovery number 3. The underwater formation that shouldn't be natural. Off the coast of Bimini in the Bahamas, beneath waters so clear you can see the ocean floor from the surface, lies something that has divided researchers for decades. At first glance, it looks like a natural rock formation. Limestone blocks arranged along the seabed. Nothing unusual, just geology doing what geology does. But look closer. The blocks form straight lines, precise edges, right angles. They stretch for hundreds of meters in organized rows. This is the Bimini Road, though calling it a road might be misleading. It's more like a massive platform or foundation, and it looks disturbingly artificial. Divers who've explored the site report an eerie feeling. The stones are enormous, some weighing several tons. They're positioned with precision that seems intentional.
gaps between blocks appear uniform, as if following a plan. Geologists argue it's natural. They say these are beach rock formations, limestone that solidified in geometric patterns through natural processes, that the straight lines and right angles are coincidental. And they might be right. Nature can create remarkably regular patterns under specific conditions. But here's the problem. Some stones show apparent tool marks, others appear to have been cut and shaped. The uniformity is striking, too striking, some argue, to be purely natural. Then there's the dating question. If these are artificial, they were constructed when sea levels were much lower, possibly 10,000 to 15,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age. That timeline is significant because it predates known complex civilizations. According to mainstream archaeology, humans 15,000 years ago were hunter-gatherers. They weren't building monumental stone structures. Yet here's a formation that looks planned, organized, and constructed, sitting exactly where an ancient shoreline would have been before rising seas submerged it. If it's artificial, it suggests a civilization capable of quarrying massive stones, transporting them, and arranging them in organized patterns, thousands of years before we have any record of such capabilities. If it's natural, it's an extraordinary geological coincidence that happens to look exactly like human construction. What makes this truly unsettling is what it implies about our oceans. Sea levels have risen dramatically since the last ice age. Coastlines where ancient people lived are now underwater. If complex civilizations existed during that period, their cities, their monuments, their evidence would now be beneath hundreds of feet of water. We wouldn't find them easily. We might not find them at all. The Bimini Formation might be natural, or it might be one of the only visible remnants of something much larger, evidence of people who built along coastlines that no longer exist, whose history was erased by rising seas. We'll probably never know for certain. The formation is difficult to study, constantly battered by currents and storms. Definitive evidence remains elusive. But every time a diver explores those submerged stones, they can't shake the feeling that they're walking through something that was once a place, a location that mattered, where people gathered, lived, built. Whether that feeling is accurate or not, the question remains: how much of our past is hidden beneath the oceans, waiting or lost forever? If you're fascinated by lost history, smash that subscribe button, because next we're looking at metal fragments that suggest ancient people understood astronomy better than we ever imagined.
Discovery number 4. The bronze fragments showing advanced astronomy. In the heart of Germany, far from modern cities in a landscape that's remained largely unchanged for millennia, archaeologists made a discovery that would challenge our understanding of ancient European knowledge. The Nebra sky disk, a bronze disk adorned with gold symbols representing the sun, moon, and stars, became world famous. It's one of the oldest known astronomical instruments, dating back 3,600 years. But that's not what we're here to discuss. Scattered around the same site were smaller bronze fragments, overlooked by media coverage, dismissed by many as minor artifacts. Yet these fragments contain something extraordinary. Etched into them are symbols, celestial patterns, geometric alignments, markings that don't match any known constellations or star charts. Even experienced astronomers struggle to decode them fully. These weren't decorative, they were functional, tracking tools, records of observations made over generations. The precision is staggering. Whoever created these understood celestial mechanics, the movements of stars, the cycles of the moon, the patterns of planets. They recorded alignments, predicted events, and mapped the heavens with accuracy that shouldn't be possible for Bronze Age Europe. Remember, this is 1600 BCE. According to traditional history, Europeans at this time were simple agricultural communities. They planted crops, raised livestock, and followed seasonal patterns. They weren't supposed to have sophisticated astronomical knowledge. They weren't supposed to be tracking celestial events with precision. They weren't supposed to understand mathematical relationships between planetary movements. Yet the evidence says they did. Some symbols on these fragments don't correspond to anything in our current night sky. Stars that should be visible aren't marked. Patterns that don't match known constellations appear. This suggests two possibilities. Either these people observed celestial phenomena we no longer see, comets, supernovas, alignments that occurred 3,600 years ago and haven't repeated since, or they inherited knowledge from an even older source and were recording observations made by someone else, somewhere else at a different time. The sophistication implies organized, systematic observation over many lifetimes. You don't create accurate star charts from casual stargazing. You need generations of astronomers carefully recording positions, tracking movements, refining measurements. This requires cultural continuity, written or oral traditions preserving knowledge, and a society that values understanding the cosmos enough to dedicate resources to it. All of which contradicts the image of primitive Bronze Age Europeans we've been taught to accept. These fragments whisper of something more, a culture that looked up at the night sky and didn't just see lights, they saw patterns, mathematics, predictable movements they could record and understand. They were astronomers, scientists, knowledge keepers. And when their civilization ended, through war, climate change, invasion, or collapse, that knowledge was nearly lost. The fragments remained buried in German soil, waiting 3,600 years to remind us that our ancestors were far more capable than we give them credit for. Subscribe if you're ready for our final mystery, because it involves stone blocks so massive that even modern engineering can barely explain how they were moved.
Discovery number 5, the impossible stones of Baalbek. In the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon stands one of the most impressive and most baffling construction achievements in human history, the Temple of Jupiter at Baalbek. The temple itself is remarkable, but it's the foundation that defies explanation. 3 stone blocks, each weighing over 800 tons, that's 1.6 million pounds per block. They're called the trilithon, and they're positioned with precision that seems impossible even today. Stand next to one and you feel dwarfed. These aren't bricks, they're megaliths, stone masses so enormous that your mind struggles to process them as human-made objects. The edges are sharp, the surfaces are smooth, the corners meet at perfect right angles. Someone shaped these with extraordinary skill. But shaping them is only the beginning of the mystery. The real question is, how were they moved? The stones were quarried nearly a kilometer away. That means someone had to cut them from bedrock, lift them somehow, transport them across rough terrain, and position them precisely in the foundation. Modern cranes can't lift 800 tons. The world's largest mobile crane maxes out at around 1,000 tons under optimal conditions. Moving 3 800-ton blocks today would require specialized equipment, careful planning, and engineering expertise. Ancient builders supposedly did this with rope, wood, and human labor. Historians suggest they used tens of thousands of workers pulling the stones on rolling logs. That's possible in theory, but the logistics are staggering. You'd need to coordinate thousands of people simultaneously. The rollers would have to support unimaginable weight without breaking. The path would need to be perfectly level. Any significant slope and controlling that much mass becomes impossible. And somehow, after transporting these blocks, they positioned them with precision, gaps so tight you can barely slide paper between them. The engineering knowledge required is profound. Understanding of weight distribution, leverage, friction, structural integrity. These builders weren't primitive, they were masters of physics and engineering. But here's what's truly unsettling. We don't know who built them. The Romans expanded the temple around 15 CE, but the trilithon foundation was already ancient when they arrived.
Some attribute it to the Phoenicians, others suggest even earlier cultures. Ancient historians recorded local legends claiming these stones were placed by giants or gods, beings with supernatural strength. Obviously, we don't accept supernatural explanations, but the legends hinted something important. Even in ancient times, people recognized these stones as impossible achievements. Some researchers propose a radical idea. The trilithon represents technology or knowledge we've lost, that ancient civilizations possessed construction techniques we haven't rediscovered. Maybe they understood leverage and force multiplication in ways we don't. Maybe they had tools or methods that left no trace. Maybe human ingenuity found solutions that seem impossible to us because we've forgotten how. Or maybe, and this is what mainstream archaeology reluctantly acknowledges, ancient people simply achieved the impossible through determination, intelligence, and capabilities we've consistently underestimated. The trilithon stones remain silent witnesses to extraordinary engineering, physical proof that humans thousands of years ago accomplished things we struggle to explain with all our modern knowledge.
5 discoveries. 5 challenges to everything we think we know about human history. Stones carved with impossible knowledge, objects with unknown purposes used across an empire, underwater formations that might be ruins of lost cities, astronomical records showing sophistication we didn't expect, megaliths that seem beyond human capability. What connects them? This. They all suggest our ancestors were more advanced, more knowledgeable, more capable than we've been taught to believe. We assume progress is linear, that humanity started primitive and slowly became advanced, that we're the pinnacle. But what if that's wrong? What if human civilization has risen and fallen multiple times? What if knowledge has been achieved, lost, and rediscovered over and over throughout our history? What if we're not the beginning? Maybe we're not the pinnacle. Maybe we're just another chapter in a story much longer and stranger than we've imagined. And maybe, just maybe, the most important thing we can do is stay humble enough to admit we don't know everything about our own history. Because the past isn't dead, it's just buried. And every time we dig, we find something that forces us to question everything we thought we knew. If you want to explore more mysteries like these, subscribe to this channel, because human history is far stranger than the textbooks admit, and we're only beginning to understand how much we've forgotten.